Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Fandom Family Chats. I'm Jeanette.
I'm Eve.
I'm Amanda.
Tonight we're going to talk about Grey's Anatomy and Station 19, their crossover event, even though it wasn't really much of a crossover, but those episodes from this week. Vic's fire camp is it started and I love it, but it was definitely having some ups and downs.
Oh yeah, it was.
I was really I don't know if impressed is the word. I guess surprised maybe that it took off so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Because she came up with the idea a couple episodes ago, and now it's a thing. So
it was last week.
Last
Might
week
have been the one before, maybe.
I don't know, but then all of a sudden she has these girls and they're doing this camp. I was like, wow, she really knows how to get her stuff together.
I mean, she got this together way quicker than Stella did on with the Girls on Fire, man. I mean, this was like that. So
yeah, Stella, a bunch of red tape to cut through. I'm surprised Vic got it off the ground so quickly.
What's easier in Seattle? I don't know.
Well, that's probably because Stella Kid has already created one, so
true.
they knew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Seattle's like already heard about Chicago, so they're like, okay, yeah, let's start one here.
Yeah,
it was just a new chapter of Girls on Fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I also love Jack being there.
I liked how Ross was like, like, here, you can help out. And he's like, but I don't work in here. And she's like, well, thank you for volunteering then. Like, gave him no choice whatsoever. He was
and
he's do it.
Like, okay, you're welcome, I guess. And off he goes. But it was nice seeing him back, doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Back to the same old Jack. So, because I was done with, depressed Jack. I was like, I cannot do this an episode longer.
Oh, I totally agree. It was nice to see him back as old Jack, and together with Vic, because I always like them together. I think they bring out like the good in each other. They're just funny. I think one of the things that did like Ross was asking asking Vic her opinions on Beckett, and Vic, she said it perfectly though.
She did.
I mean, I loved it. I was like, that's exactly how we all feel. He's not a bad firefighter. I'm sure that he's not. We've all said that we're pretty sure he wouldn't be captain if he wasn't a good firefighter. But his leadership skills suck. And like she said, in that sort of house where they're all overachievers and he's doing the bare minimum, it's not enough.
And I guess we'll talk about a little later, but that definitely showed later on with the call they want. He's just a bare minimum, like just I have to do, and that's it.
Yeah.
But then everyone else is, above and beyond. It creates problems.
I totally agree. Agree.
He might be a good captain somewhere, but he's not a good captain for 19.
No, agree. The baby shark with the CPR, that was the best. Because I mean, I was thinking the same thing Vic was when he was like, what did he say, staying alive, and what is the other one?
There was a second one that I don't remember what it was, but both of them, Vic was like, they don't know that.
Why would they know that? They're like children.
I was like, these uncultured children, what is wrong with parents today?
And at first I was thinking, well, a baby shark's gonna be way too like they're way too old to like, but I'm like, you know what, thinking about when Baby Shark came out, these kids, and that's a song that will never leave your brain once you know it. So
it's one of those songs that just gets in your head and will not leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Until you think about it again, you're like, oh my gosh, I finally got rid of that song in my head. And then it begins all over again.
Like watching this episode. Yeah. That's kind of what happened. Yeah.
It did. And I'm doing it right now.
It seemed to work though. They caught on.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a good idea.
They weren't really excited about doing the CPR though. Like they were,
which
complaining and complaining. I get it. They're possibly expecting to learn how to actually like fight fires.
I mean, that's way more exciting than the idea of like CPR. I get it, but
CPR is pretty important.
Yes.
So luckily Ross stepped in to kind of set the girls straight.
Is that the moment that Jack said, I think I'm in love with her, and Vic said, me too? Like, I was thinking, me too. Like, she is great, and I love her so much.
I love her as a fire chief.
Mhm.
She's
Yeah.
just so wonderful.
Yeah.
She's getting better and better. Like when we first met her, it was kind of like, oh, okay, like I like her,
Mhm.
but
Well, I wasn't sure. I think it was the same. Like we've talked about this on other podcasts. A lot of times on these shows, when we have women in power, they're just witches. You know what I mean? And it's not in like a good way. Like that's when they assert authority. That was really hard to say. It just comes across wrong. But like Ross does it in a way where she's commanding their respect, but not in a way that you wouldn't respect her for, because I mean she is. I mean, obviously both of them saying like I think I'm in love with her. I mean she's really good at her job. So
She has a tough exterior for sure,
mhm.
but then there's a lot more to her underneath that she also uses in her job. So just
She's firm, but I think she's still approachable. Like I think people should feel comfortable going to her with issues. I mean, obviously Theo did when he brought up the stuff with Beckett, last week or whatever. So I mean, I think she does a good job being that leader that you can still go and speak to about if you have concerns or something.
yeah.
I'd like her to be my boss.
Yeah. Except for I don't want to fight fires. So but I mean, I think it was good too, like that speech. Because they obviously had to use it when that man pulled in with like his family that had all been struck by lightning. And obviously there's three of them laying there, and that's not enough. I mean, with just three of them, that's not enough to do what they need to do. So they had to get a couple of the girls to help them,
which I thought was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could you imagine your first day of firefighter
Yeah.
training and then you assist saving a life?
Yeah. And that one little girl though started crying like, I can't do this. And I was sitting there saying, you just did. And thankfully that's what her friend finally said to her. Like, you did do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's over. I'm sure, I mean, it's just the adrenaline and all that, coming down from it. She was just overcome, but she did it.
Yeah. Whenever she just lost it after.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Vic holding her. I was like, oh, this is such a sweet moment.
Well, like Ross is right though. Vic is good at this. Like, I think I mean, if we were just talking about how great of a leader Ross is, I think Vic has that potential in her as well. I think she has a way of like, I don't know, just calming people and doing and taking care of situations without, I don't know, she's a calming effect about her. And so this is really good.
I think it's gonna go amazing. I think this might be I can't remember what they're calling it. What are they calling it? I keep saying Girls on Fire. It's not the right show.
I don't think they gave it a little cutesy name like that I remember.
I've been calling it Girls on Fire just because that's what it is on Chicago Fire, but I don't think they gave it a name.
Oh, okay. So whatever they're gonna call this, I feel like it has to have a name.
It needs something cute, I think. Yeah.
Can we writers, can we establish this in February? You have a while.
Until then, we'll just call it Girls on Fire 2.0. That's what we're going to call it.
If the writers want to come up with a better name, then feel free, but this is what it is for now. So.
But no, I mean, like that conversation that Ross had with Vic kind of led to her. She's asking her to run Crisis 1 on like, not just from like Station 19, but like on a citywide level, which I think it's cool, but I'm also like, okay, what does this mean for Vic?
Yeah.
Like, what does this mean for her being, because she's like my favorite girl on the show. And I'm like, I mean, it's a nice way. Does that let Jack back into the house if she's not going to be working there? I mean, yes, that's nice and all, but
then we're not going to have Vic.
I know.
I guess she'll still be on the show. I mean, Crisis 1 still works with them a lot.
But then we don't get the Vic we love who's interacting with all the 19 people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I do think she would be good at it. So I think she would be an asset to the program for sure.
I mean, maybe she can like house out of 19.
Maybe.
I mean, they like have to house
19.
Yeah, maybe that would be
their headquarters or something.
So maybe that'd be the perfect case scenario. She can still work out of 19, work with all of them, but it opens up a spot to where Jack can now come back and take his job again.
Yeah.
maybe that's perfect.
But we still need to get rid of Beckett at some point.
We do
too.
need to get rid of
Yes.
Beckett. Like, that's for sure. And I think it's coming as far as like getting rid of Beckett, because I mean, like, if we like watched how everything happened at this helicopter crash, he did not lead that team very well at all.
Exactly what Vic said before. He's what was it she said? Bare minimum captain with an above and beyond team. Like,
Yeah.
the whole team was like, this is what we have to do to save this guy. And Becca's just like, nope.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you even in this job?
Yeah.
If all you want to do is the bare minimum. The bare minimum isn't enough when you're a firefighter.
Like, okay, I mean, because I'm always trying to see both sides. I understand that the need for, we need to be quick because there is this lightning storm. We need to get out of the field, get it. But if your team is confident that they can work together and make this happen and, possibly keep this man from being paralyzed, do it. I mean, like, let them try it. I mean, Ben's telling you I know he's a firefighter now, but he is also a doctor. He has his medical license. Like, he's telling you this is what needs to happen. Like, you should listen.
And shouldn't a good captain be utilizing the skills that all of his people bring to the team? Like, he should be thankful that he has a former surgeon on his team who knows this stuff.
You would think so. I mean,
because I remember on Lone Star, like around the time when Lone Star first started, one of the things I loved about Owen on there was that he accepted that there were things that take place in Texas that he knows nothing about, and he let other people, take the reins on different calls. So I don't want to say it's weird to me, because it's not. I mean, he's Beckett after all, but I mean,
I was really hoping, and I think I said it last time, I was really hoping that we could like Beckett. But now I'm right back to where we started after this episode. I mean, with him putting Andy in charge like that, like, I don't know what he was thinking would happen. Did he think she was going to fail and he was going to prove his point? She did it. She rocked it.
I think he was hoping she would fail so that he could prove a point. I think that's exactly what the whole purpose was.
Yeah. Well, joke's on him, because she didn't.
I was so scared that entire time too. I was like, oh my gosh, please let this play out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Great. But I was also on edge watching this entire thing because we were told something humongous is going to happen. And so the entire time I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, great. She's going to try to take charge, and then some kind of freak accident is going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's just going to give more of a power trip to Beckett. This is where my mind went. But
well, no, I thought that too. And then I also thought, like, because I mean, Theo's obviously frustrated with him. Like, we've seen that several episodes. And then Theo's sort of rant it to Ben had me nervous, because I'm like, why is he ranting this? Like, I thought for a second, is something crazy going to happen to Ben, or is Ben going to leave for some reason? Like, I didn't know where it was going. I still don't quite understand what that rant, what purpose it had in the episode. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember being confused as I watched it, like expecting more to come of that later. And then it didn't.
I don't know if it had much to do with this specific episode. I wonder if they're just trying to insert it in as like an overarching storyline of, Theo's frustration with the way Beckett is handling things. Because he has been upset with how he's been treating the whole Maya situation too. So I don't know if they're just trying to push that overarching story along.
Well, and I also wondered if it was going to lead to, because now I'm trying to remember what he was bragging on, how great Ben was in the field and all of this stuff. And Ben had been complaining that he is only in the field every once in a while, which made me wonder, is he going to want to get back more involved with that? And then is that going to have tension? He's already got tension with Miranda over stuff. I don't know. I just felt like it was just leading to something that I'm not going to be happy about.
See, I was getting more of the feeling that Ben is leaving 19.
Well, maybe.
And going back. But Miranda wants him back to an anesthesiologist.
That's
to
true.
help her run the clinic.
Maybe Ben's the one that's going to leave and let Jack. Somebody's going to leave and let Jack have his job back, because I think that is just, we can see that clearly. Jack is wanting to come back. He's going to get back at 19, but someone is going to have to go in order for that to happen.
Yeah. I mean, because Ben even mentioned it in the ambulance that Miranda wants him to quit.
He was really angry with Miranda about that. And so.
Yeah, but then he got to apply so much of his medical knowledge in this episode, and Ben was a surgeon, Ben was this, and they kept mentioning it during the episode, which makes me believe they're really trying to hammer it into her head.
But just being an anesthesiologist, he wouldn't be able to use that knowledge. I mean, he would have to, did he even finish? Like, he didn't finish his residency with surgery, right?
I think he was a resident. I think he was still a resident when he left.
Well, I do not want to
he still has a doctorate though. I mean, he was still an anesthesiologist before.
Yeah.
And that's what she said.
Yeah. I don't think going back to being an anesthesiologist would make him happy. I can't imagine that it would, because even an anesthesiologist, you're not going to be in charge of like the rescues and the saving of people, which is where his passion seems to be. I don't know. It's just,
I don't know how much longer he can be doing desk duty either.
He's not liking that. I mean,
he hates it. So, I mean,
he's be happy doing anything that doesn't involve action.
Yeah.
And excitement. So,
which I feel like surgery is. You do get that excitement. Anesthesiologists, no. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, your job.
I mean, maybe if there's something crazy goes wrong during the surgery, you might be able to be a part of the save, but like it's not the same. So I don't know.
Maybe, I mean, who knows? I can't see him going back to being a resident now.
I mean, Levi does need help. He needs more residents. So maybe I really don't think that would happen.
I wonder if he would have to go back to like, does he have to go back to intern? Does he go back into the fourth?
I would think not intern, but he may have to start back at year 1 of residency, possibly. I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
Well, it's a TV show, so maybe he doesn't have to start all over again.
Because there's like an exam of some sort between internship and residency, right? So he's probably past that. But I don't know if you'd have to start back over with, I don't know.
Maybe it depends on if you return to the same program that you left.
Maybe.
Or I don't know.
That just meant, I mean, that literally just popped in my head. We are harping that Levi needs more residents, right?
Yeah.
Could that, I mean,
and
would Helm, they do that?
Helm seems pretty happy at the bar, so maybe the solution is bringing Ben back.
I think she's coming back too, but
I think she's coming back.
Even just Helm isn't enough. So, I don't know. It's interesting. Something's going to be happening with Ben, I think, in his career again. Drives me crazy.
Like, no grown man needs to change professions this much. And not like, it's not like an easy transit. Like, he went from anesthesiologist to surgical intern to firefighter.
It's very different, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess, not really the same, but in the same ballpark here. Ben's obviously, we think there's going to be another, he's having issues, I guess, in the identity of his career again. I think that's a lot of what's happening with Maya. She's struggling. She is not happy in the position that she's in. And it's just getting worse and worse.
Honestly, I know we have to talk about it because it's happening, but I'm so sick of talking about Maya.
So done with Maya.
A week. Yeah, I'm done with her. Maybe she can be the one to leave.
At this point, I wish she would. I keep saying like, okay, that's it. Now I'm done with her. But the way she reacted to Karina saying like, I took a pregnancy test and it was negative. No, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I know you wanted it. No, it was just like, you can't believe you took it without me. Well, Maya, you're never there. And the night that she took it, she tried to call her and she ignored her phone call.
Yep.
So
I'm sick of Maya. And I know that, it's kind of bad to say right now since she's knocked unconscious on the floor. Who knows what that's going to.
I don't care.
And was that us losing one?
I think that's what the tragedy was supposed to be, but it's like, y'all realize we hate her right now. I don't care one bit that she's lying on that floor.
Is she dead? Is she unconscious? Is she going to be okay? Like, what? We don't know. That's not a tragedy.
Either way. Is that, I know that's awful. The only reason I care is for the people that love her, like Karina and Andy. I would feel awful that they would lose her. I'm not going to feel any way of losing her. Like, she can go. I'm over it. And that's me. The actress is a brilliant actress, and I just have to go on record saying I love her, but they have destroyed this character. Maya has never been one that's like, she's my favorite. I love her.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think she's ever been that. But they have destroyed her so much that I honestly would not even be sad one tiny bit if she left the show.
I don't know how they save the character. I really don't. I feel like it's just been so much.
It's too much
negativity. I mean, she's not like an evil person, but it's just always about her. It's always negative. It's always just drag on. Like, it's uninteresting anymore.
And that's what it is. They've drug it on too long, that we've taken it too far. Like, if it had been 1 or 2 episodes, like if after the episode where Karina set up the really sweet like candles and all that sweet stuff, if that was her turning point and we realized she wanted help, cool. Like, I would have forgiven her for everything prior to. But now, like, after you've seen how hard your wife is working to help you and to be there for you, and you still have no desire to like help yourself, I'm done and I'm over it.
Oh yeah. No, I agree with you.
It's got to be a lot of work, being with someone who obviously needs help and is refusing to get it. I mean, there's only so much that Karina's gonna be able to take any of this. Like, I'm surprised she hasn't given up already.
Yeah, same.
I don't know how she hasn't. I really
freaking saying it's because of her history dealing with her father. I mean, I think she just has a lot of willpower in putting up with someone who needs help but doesn't want help. But eventually that's gonna, I mean, I think we're already seeing Karina start to move past that, because her taking the pregnancy test by herself, and now that she knows she's not pregnant, I don't know how much longer she will put up with it, except for the fact that Maya's laying on a floor unconscious, because that'll obviously like,
maybe
we don't know.
The point, but we keep saying this every single week, so who really knows?
I know.
I don't know.
But I don't care. If that was our, like, one of our people are in like in, tragedy or however they worded it, I don't care.
That's the only
it's the only thing that happened
in Station 19. That's the only tragedy that happened. And I feel like, I mean, we can go ahead and already say it. In Grace, the only really tragedy that happened was the house. So and was it the house we were talking about?
I was sadder about the house than I was Maya hitting her head, if I'm being honest. So maybe
Maya needed a good bump to the head. So I mean, maybe that was a good thing.
Maybe she'll have amnesia.
Oh my God, can they convince her she's a pleasant
We have not had a really good amnesia story on Grace.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's convince her that she's a nice, pleasant person then, and just go with it.
She likes to do whatever her captain tells her to do. Just roll.
She's friendly, and let's convince her that. We can't tell her who she really was, because nobody wants that back.
Oh, no. I am here for it. Let's do that.
It's really mean, isn't it? I don't care. I don't care.
It's a fictional character. It's okay.
Yeah. But like, the thing is, like, we've got enough issues with Maya, like, and then we've got Travis that I feel like we're getting ready to head down a road that I'm really unhappy with, and I'm like, don't ruin my guy. Like, this is my favorite guy, and I'm upset that he's even thinking about going down some dirty campaign trail.
I feel like he's getting frustrated with the whole campaigning thing. And that's and I feel like he's just trying to take like the easy path just because he's so frustrated. But I'm like, this is so not you, Travis. I mean, at least with Maya, we're like, well, Maya's always a terrible person. I'm not surprised by anything she does. But with Travis, I'm like, don't do it, Travis.
Yeah.
You don't want it.
Yeah.
No. And
but he gave a pretty great speech to that
to the cleaning crew. Yeah. Agreed.
Nobody cared though.
I do feel like, though, like when he missed that meeting and whoever that person was walking out with Dixon, the way they spoke to him, what did you all expect him to leave the guy trapped in the helicopter to come to this meeting? Like, is that what you thought he should do?
So what if he just, split on his ship to go to this thing? Would they turn on him and tell him, well, what kind of, firefighter are you if you're just
exactly.
if. So can
And
he
maybe-
really win either way?
Maybe
Damn if you do, damn
if
if you
it-
don't.
I think maybe he shouldn't have gone on a call that he knew was as close to that meeting time. Maybe that was the point. Maybe he shouldn't have, I don't know. Maybe he should have taken the day off, taken the shift off to make sure he didn't miss it. But I feel like if you're wanting someone to be mayor, the hard work and dedication to your career is a quality that I would actually like to have in my
Mhm.
mayor. So I don't really get it.
And the guy who was walking out with Dixon at the end, I don't know exactly what his position is, but it sounds like he's some kind of higher up in the fire department.
Yeah.
So shouldn't, I don't know, like I don't know how things work, but you'd think he would understand why more, at least, why Travis couldn't have been there.
You would think so. I didn't
And
didn't
it's the firefighters union. Like, don't they understand how things work in fire departments?
Mhm. You would think so.
See,
I think they're just so deep in Dixon's pocket that
yeah, that's exactly what it is.
was gonna derail them. I mean, they weren't gonna give their support to Travis anyways.
No.
So, and
For
I don't know about Eli. I will say Eli makes me laugh very, very, very hard. And him and Andy's banter,
Yes.
so perfect.
I love it.
But if they leak this Crisis 1 story, that is gonna, I mean, I don't know how that's gonna impact the little potential romance we've got going. And I also don't, I mean, Ben is obviously gonna be really upset with Travis. Jack will. I mean, everyone that cared about Dee, Vic, I mean, we're just talking about her taking over this program, and then you're going to potentially tank it by leaking some information. It's going to be really bad for Travis, and I don't know how I feel about that.
I feel like leaking the story is going to have a more negative impact on Travis than on Dixon.
I know.
Unless
I
Eli
don't-
does it the right way, in some way that it can't be tied back to them. I don't know how you do that. He does seem like he's good at his job, so maybe he can. But it definitely can't be tied to 19, or it's gonna ruin them.
Everything comes out eventually, somehow.
I know. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. That was a bigger cliffhanger for me than the Maya stuff. So
Normally, like with any other character, sorry, going back to Maya for a second, with any other character like falling off the treadmill like that, I'd be like, oh my gosh. But with Maya, I was just like,
oh, that sucks.
like, oh wow, that's interesting that happened. Okay, moving on.
I mean, I was a little concerned by the end of Grace. I'm like, oh crap, because I'm guessing Meredith's house fire is what they're called to.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm thinking, oh, she's still bleeding out on the floor. This is not good, but I still don't actually care. Like, I'm just like,
I honestly thought like the crossover was going to be Maya being brought into Grace to like treat the head injury.
Yeah.
Because like there was really not, the only crossover we had was the helicopter guy. And that's not really a crossover.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then I guess, them showing up, like them being the ones to fight the fire at Meredith's house. I mean, but those were very minimal. Like,
those are very minor character crossovers that tend to happen very frequently. So you can't really call it a major crossover event.
Yeah, that was this whole like I liked both episodes. Like I really did. But I feel like I was just expecting something bigger, something.
It's because in the Chicago world, when we have a crossover, like we have like a whole storyline that goes across all three of them.
Yeah.
The characters popping up in the other things is just another week on One Chicago. So I think in our minds, we've now got that, like, these crossover events have to be this big ordeal. Whereas, I mean, really, ABC's never, other than the DeLuca, maybe Ripley, like very minimal, very few times has it been like a huge storyline that's crossed over,
Yeah.
But I think we're in one Chicago's in our head, and we expect more out of a crossover.
I know, but also like the tragedy thing, it just still gets me.
It wasn't a tragedy.
And there's like,
it was an unfortunate like accident at most. Like, it was definitely not a tragedy.
Yeah, I was not disappointed in the episodes at all, but I was disappointed in the huge uproar that it was supposed to be in. And it was just kind of, to me, like 2 normal episodes.
I was
Now, granted-
disappointed in the advertising. That's what
Exactly. Now, granted,
Yes.
if something major had happened and someone we loved was hurt, we would all be on here complaining that they did that to them. So really, there was a no-win situation here, right? We would have been
True.
mad. We would have been mad.
You
So,
gave us no warning?
exactly. Even though we say the word tragedy. So when they do give us a warning, it's nothing. But then DeLuca happens and nobody mentioned a tragedy. That was a tragedy. That was different.
That was more of a tragedy because we had no heads up.
None.
So we always
None.
have to be on edge when we're getting ready to watch Station 19 and Grey's Anatomy. But if they tell us, if they warn something bad's going to happen,
big
then
deal.
it'll be fine.
It's the
It's good. It's
crossovers
good.
when they don't say anything bad's going to happen that we're going to be like, oh crap.
Yeah.
What are they going to do now?
Who's dead?
But I mean, you know, like it was a tiny bit of a crossover. I mean, the helicopter patient that they rescued is brought into Grey's. And that was like, I enjoyed that though, because we got
too.
to see so many people like working together on this. Like
I
we
missed that
haven't
too.
seen in a while. Yeah.
I miss like these crazy cases, like the ones with like the pole stuck between the both of them,
Yes.
or like the, you know, like he's stuck in the chair, or
Mhm.
like those used to happen a lot more frequently on Grey's, which I know are like outlandish and
Right.
dumb,
But
but
it's
they're
TV.
they're more interesting.
That's what we want. Yeah.
You know, it's more interesting, and that's why I watch TV. I don't watch TV just to see what I can walk into my local hospital to see.
Exactly.
Like I like the big outlandish
Mhm.
cases, which this one made Teddy and Owen work together, which
Thankfully, because I gotta say, at the beginning of this, when Teddy was
no.
I was done. I was like, okay, Teddy, I've been like, oh girl, I feel you, know, like the last few episodes, like it was funny banter, but I'm over the way she's beating him down.
Yeah.
And
He
so
knows he messed up. He knows.
he knows. I mean, it's over, you
He's
know?
being punished for it. He's lost a lot. Like,
Yes.
He's being
be a
punished for
partner.
it. He's making the most of it. He's doing what he needs to do. She needs to start meeting him halfway.
Yeah.
Well,
Which
she also needs to be a partner to him and not his worst critic.
especially not in public. I mean, if you want to throw the few little jabs at home, like under your breath, like we all do to our husbands, cool, do that because that's life. But like when you're in like your all's both place of work in front of colleagues and people that work under you and supervise and everyone,
Mm-hmm.
it can't talk to them like that.
Yeah.
It makes
So,
it really comfortable.
I mean, if
for
roles
everybody.
were reversed and Owen was talking to her like that,
Oh,
people would lose their mind over this.
absolutely.
So it's not cool. I'm over it.
Yeah. No, she made me have a grimace face
Mhm.
whenever she acknowledged the kids and not him. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that, but
That's mean. Even if you were talking to your kids, like, I mean, because sometimes I'm like, I might say something, I'm talking to Elena and be like, hey, are you feeling okay? And David will think I'm talking to him and he'll answer. I don't tell him I wasn't talking to you. I'm just like, okay, that's good. How about you, Elena? You know, like,
same.
like I'm not
Same.
gonna like let him know that I don't care. Like at that moment, I wasn't caring with how he. I mean, I just wasn't thinking about him at that moment. Fine, but I'm not gonna like shoot him down and tell him that. You know, like
Shut up. I want talking to you.
Yeah, I don't care how you are. Like, no, you wouldn't say that to someone.
No. And yeah. Hopefully come February, we're not going to see all this
Yeah.
horrible Teddy and Owen interactions.
Well, I mean, we did see more. I think we ended on a good place because leading up to that, I mean, you do have to admit, as much as we don't like the way Teddy's talking to Owen, she's a boss when it comes to like doing her job.
Mhm.
And that was what Minka, right? That's who pointed it out. Still learning all the Minka's the one that pointed it out. I mean, like she said, like she restored her faith in what she's doing here and told her how great she was. And Owen agreed. And I thought that was really cool that he because she thought he was going to take a jab at her.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I think you should apply for the chief's position. He said, but he did say, what did he say? What, we need the money.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny, but I had Teddy was not even in my mind. That was an option. I actually think she'd be a good option.
Well, now that the idea of her being chief is planted in my head, I can't get over the idea of how great that would be. Like that would be perfect.
I think so.
See, I thought about it as soon as Mika said boss lady,
Mm-hmm.
the thought went straight into my head. And Owen came and said that, and I was like, uh-oh, okay, now I see where we're going.
Yeah. Yeah. Because our
Okay.
options are limited. I mean, obviously, I had even thought I wish Owen could, because I don't think he did as bad of a job as everybody wants to pretend like he did.
No.
But he can't.
I was excited when he was like, I'll come do it. I was like, yes. I was like, wait,
He can't.
you can't.
Yeah, he can't. And I don't, Maggie, I don't think she's
No.
chief material. I mean, I think Amelia's definitely not. I think she's far too scattered to
Yes.
as far as the attendings go, I think Teddy is the perfect one for the job. And
Or
she's been there-
outside, like Richard is, I think, pushing for is an outside.
Yeah, I don't want an
person.
outside person.
I guess
I don't want new
new take this.
No,
I don't
we
like
got
new
enough.
So
Maybe they'll bring back somebody.
Unless you want to bring back like somebody from our past, cool. Then I'd be okay with it. But no,
Dr.
otherwise,
Han.
not Han,
no.
not Han, not Burke. I mean, we can list the ones that are like absolutely not.
Alex.
I would take Alex in a heartbeat.
Oh my God, Alex is chief. No.
I would take Alex any way I could get him back. I don't care.
Well,
He's
wasn't he-
matured since then. I think he would be
Wasn't
fine
he
right
temporary
now.
chief for a while, and he just
But
I don't
that
remember
was
if he was
like-
bad at it, but I think he was just annoying as chief.
Well, that was like 10 years ago, though. I mean, like that was a long time ago. What about Arizona? Can we bring her back? I've been saying that for a
Yes.
long time. I would love to have her come back.
I know, me too.
I'd even take Hayes back at this point. Can he come back from Ireland? That's fine.
I don't know. He can stay there.
I know you're mad at him. No, but
Yeah. I don't like him anymore.
no, but that was, I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess.
But I mean, since Levi is the only resident, like we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
like the ER is not running very smoothly, in my
No.
opinion, of just
No.
watching this. Like it's so scattered. Maybe we need to bring April back.
Well, but we can't because now Jackson's gonna be helping Meredith in Boston. I don't want them to be split up.
Oh,
As much
that's
as I'd love to
true.
have April, I need them. They're a package deal at this point for
Oh, yeah.
April
forever and
can't-
ever.
Yeah, April can't come back unless Jackson comes with her, but I love Jackson
know,
being in Boston.
I
So
know,
that's
With Meredith, yeah.
Yeah, it is. We're just. I guess we can't have that. But I mean, I will admit. Okay, talking about the pit this week. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Joe made me really angry. Actually,
She annoyed me.
like I was like, why? I mean, I wasn't even caring that she was scrolling and shopping, but like it was the attitude that she gave to Levi.
Yeah.
Like he's in charge right now. I understand that you still rank above him when as far as general surgery goes. I get it. But like he's in charge. You were asked to help him and you're not being helpful.
it's like, and you're there to work, and obviously the pit is like crazy busy, and you're shopping on your phone. Is that really
Yeah, I didn't care.
like? Is there really nothing else for her to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
definitely.
When when else is the girl supposed to shop?
I don't. Well, I don't know. She didn't. She ended up not having to because Link came through. I don't know.
I know. I'm loving the sparks there.
That was
had to
sweet. That was
talk
sweet.
about it in a little bit, but
But no, I mean, they needed help in the pit. They don't need her to shop right now. I mean, we've got, like
Yeah.
Levi's obviously doing stuff, and you've got Jules and Benson. I think that's the only other people working in there.
mhm.
I like Jules and Benson, guys.
I do
Like,
too.
it's like they both have this like Christina Yang energy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of fun to see them like they're competing, but they're also like flirting, and it's like this whole thing that I am really into.
Yeah, same. I'm getting major vibes.
Like, I think they both have Christina vibes a little bit, like with they're trying to like show each other up all the time, and I love that Jules finally, what was it, the last thing she told him something, she said, let me know if you need any more what'd she say,
Consulting.
advice and consulting. I was just like, girl, I love it.
Yeah, I love the banter. It's
Yeah.
so amusing.
Oh yeah. I like it. And I feel like that's, again, I mean, like we've said it a million times, that's a lot of a callback
Mhm.
of the residents bickering, not being hateful and mean,
But they're
But
competing. I mean, that's-
bickering and competing, which
Yeah.
we haven't seen in a very long time.
Nope.
I mean, we've seen them try to like go behind each other's backs and fight for surgeries and stuff like that, but not in this way, not working together, bickering. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a good way to do it and a bad way to do it. And I feel like we've just kind of gone off in a bad way, but they are bringing back the right kind of competition.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I do too.
But no, I want to talk just a little bit more because I mean, I mentioned it there for a second, but like, let's talk more about like Levi, or not Levi, but Link buying the cute little clothes for Joe.
Yes.
Because I mean, she was in a hurry that morning. She was, mentioning that Luna's stuff fits. Because I mean, I don't know. She cracked me up with the not wanting to leave the house. Because it's the lightning storm. They're supposed to be open in the clinic this day. Like nothing's kind of going right with that. So I mean, I guess a little retail therapy was needed. She's having a rough day. And what was it about the clinic? Was it just there was just some red tape that just hadn't been like cleared for them to open that morning?
Yeah, there was like it was like administration kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think they were terribly specific about it, but it sounded like some kind of admin red tape deal.
Yeah. I think it was just probably paperwork or silly stuff like that.
Which was a bummer because I mean we got to see a tiny little like bit of Karina, but I was really excited to see like Karina and Joe and Bailey all together working on this. Like and I got really excited thinking about it. And even Richard came. What did he bring? He brought
almond croissants.
Yeah.
Was
yeah.
it?
And it was just a matter, of course, he was trying to butter Bailey up because he wants her to come back and be chief. And she's like, I'm not doing it. And I'm so thankful that she's sticking to her guns on that because I don't want Bailey back as chief.
No, I think she is worn out. And I'm enjoying seeing her being just another surgeon. Like she's
because she
seems better.
We've never gotten to see her just like this because even before she was chief resident. So she's always sort of had to be in charge of someone. Like it's nice to just see Bailey just be Bailey, just be a doctor and helping her patients. And I like this side of her. So I kind of want to just keep it that way.
And I think her time off kind of gave her perspective and she has a new passion now and it doesn't have anything to do with being chief of surgery. So I don't think she's at all interested. And I don't think there's anything Richard can do to change that.
I don't either. And I don't think he needs to. I mean, go ahead and move on because she doesn't need to be. She was a fantastic chief and I think she did her time. But I do agree with her that she needs to be done because she wasn't ever home. She's never got to see her kids.
Child. Yeah.
Now she has Prue. I mean, it was time for her to step down.
Yeah. I agree.
But and she named the clinic after her mom. That was really sweet.
I mean, I was a touch bummed that it's no longer the Denny Duquette clinic, but I get it. The purpose has now changed, and it's fine. You know what I mean? Like I'm cool with it. At first, it was like a little but
I was kind of like, hey, when did the clinic close? Do we remember when it closed?
I don't know. My guess would be possibly during like the COVID times because probably all the resources were probably had to be taken elsewhere. Maybe.
I think
they would open it up for the COVID. I mean, more.
I feel like it kind of just fell by the wayside. Like it was just kind of forgotten.
I think they just didn't have resources to like do it anymore. Like the people to work it.
Nobody wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, they ended up opening it at the very end.
That was
like when she got that call, her little face lit up.
Yeah. Link was taking the picture. Link, just take the picture.
No, I think she called him Lincoln.
Link, she did call him Lincoln because I remember laughing at that. Lincoln, take the picture. Nobody calls him that, so I thought that was really funny. Yeah,
it got my attention. I was like, "Whoa!"
No, she means business. She just called you your full name.
I love Bailey. Only Bailey can get away with that.
No,
but even Lincoln being there, taking the picture and everything. I'm really, and I've said it before. I like the idea of Link and Joe, but I feel like they need to kind of do it at the same time. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I want them together because these two people need to have a partner. They both have these kids. They're like almost raising together at this point.
Yeah,
there's feelings there.
I think it's just the friends to lovers jump is just such a hard path to navigate. I think,
and I think they tried it, right?
Well, they've never been in a
they tried friends with benefits kind of situation, but not really like
They've never been
together.
the same place.
Couple.
They've never been the same place emotionally, like at the same time.
But I think they are now.
I think they are. Somebody just needs to speak up.
Yeah.
But like that tough path is what I mean. That's why I kind of worry, because I mean, when something happening with Moan, they're very good friends. There's obviously like chemistry there though. So like I don't want them to wait so long to admit that they might have some sort of feelings for each other to where they're in the same place. You know what I mean? Because we're seeing it. We just need to get to see it play out here.
Yeah. But speaking of this, what do you guys think about Lucas and Simone? I don't know. I don't think I like it.
Okay, I do like it. Now, on paper, if you had told me when we first met them that they were going to be like the intern couple, I would have been like, no, like it doesn't feel right. But since their first few moments of like their tension, I think I do like it, because I think the actors have chemistry.
Yes.
And I just like how tender they are with each other. So I think I could really like it. It's different than what I like about Jules and Benson. That's fire, that's passion, that's a different. This one is a very sweet, tender, like loving relationship that I'm wanting to see grow. So it's different, but I think I do like it.
I think I will like it. I think it's just going to be a very slow burn.
I can see that.
I think I could like it eventually, but I'm not a huge fan of it now. I feel like the timing is kind of because I don't know. I feel like it's off because there aren't really, I mean, they have a connection, like a good friendly, like colleague connection.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's any romance.
I think I just love Lucas, and I just think I like the idea of him being able to like find someone. I mean, especially since like, well, I mean, this week Amelia marched him right into that room and he had to tell everybody. That was so funny. That was like a mom walking their kid into a room and making them apologize for something they'd done. I mean, she was standing there looking at him like.
In that scene, I was looking at him. I was like, he looks like, you know, a 5-year-old who was just marched into class, whose mother like demanded that he apologized to, you know, his entire class for everything, for whatever he did the day before.
That's what I thought it felt like.
Yes.
But what was so funny is the way he said it. So like he said like, she's my aunt, but he didn't like, and so Benson's still looking like, wait, are you sleeping with your aunt? I could see it on his face. And that's when Amelia had to jump there. She's like, I have never, nor will I ever, or would she say, I am not, nor have I ever been sleeping with him. Like, she just want to make that clear. And I'm like, that should have just been clear, but you could see it on their faces. Like,
but then the best part,
you guys are
right after she said that, she just like immediately walked out and like left Lucas standing there all by himself. I'm like, this is possibly the best thing that's going to happen in this episode.
Yes.
Oh, I loved it. That was perfect. They did that perfectly. Kudos. Good job. Woo-hoo.
Well, and I mean, Nick got a little like grumpy about the fact that he didn't know, but like,
okay, well, honestly, I'm on Nick's side with this.
Maybe though, but like, if Lucas really didn't want anyone to know, Meredith as his boss, what position does she have to be telling information? So I don't know. You know, I feel like there's two sides to this, and
I understand why Nick is upset, because, you know, as you know, his, you know, significant other, that's big information to hold back.
But professionally,
I think he's forgetting that they have a professional relationship too. Like, she's his boss, and she has no business relaying personal information that another employee does not want shared.
Yeah, but
because it's not affecting his work. I mean, like, I don't think she had any
unless it started creating issues somehow, and then Meredith had to come out and say, hey, this isn't going to work because Amelia is his aunt.
Right.
I don't know. I'm still on the she should have told him at least.
As his
girlfriend?
And
just say like yes,
but not as both his and Lucas's boss.
I also think that Nick is a big enough boy to where he could have separated those two, known without saying a word. Nick's not like the big mouth gossiper type. He's really not.
I can see that.
And I would feel very betrayed, like if, you know,
I don't know.
I don't know what to compare it to in my own personal life. But if my husband kept something like that from me, I'd be like, no, this is not how this works. You tell me everything.
But it's not your husband.
I know, and that's probably
Just
why
your
it's a
boyfriend.
hard disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're, I don't know. And I guess their kind of relationships all up in the air right now too.
Yeah. Which that I had not even thought about that until
I
this
did.
week. I didn't think about it. It like hit me even at the beginning of the episode when she's writing the resignation letter. I'm like, oh wait. No.
Mhm.
Nick just moved there for you.
That's the
And
only part
now-
that I found a little bit
Like as a
crappy
mom,
as
I-
for Meredith.
yeah. And I mean, thinking about them like as a mom, like when I think about like me being a mom, okay, obviously what my kid needs comes first over everyone. It is
Yeah.
what it is. But he really did just move to Seattle to take this job to be with you. And now you're going to move across the country. Is he supposed to just follow you?
And then
Like-
on top of that, like she even said that they haven't talked about it. It's like, is this maybe not something you might, I mean, obviously you're going to do this. Like you have to because it's for Zola.
Yeah.
But
It should have been
you're
a
not
conversation.
even going to entertain a conversation with your boyfriend about it?
Yeah.
I mean, even if you went ahead and said yes to Zola, like we're gonna move, like cool, because I mean, y'all were in that moment. That's you and your daughter. You could definitely like make that decision right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as soon as you did that, as soon as you go back to Seattle, you need to sit down and have a conversation. Maybe I am going to do this. What does this mean for us and for you, though? Like, let's just discuss like what you want to do out of this.
Yeah. I would say, I know I just offered you this job. I know you just took this job. If you stay here and do this job, I will have no animosity towards you.
Right.
If you want to come with me to Boston, I am happily open to that as well.
Mhm.
But I know that's not fair of me to ask you. That's what should have been said.
Yeah.
Not nothing.
Yeah.
Like, Meredith, you're a big girl. You're not the same 28-year-old girl that you used to be.
Yeah. In that way, she's not changed much. I mean, she's very,
No,
you
she's
know,
very selfish.
she is. Yeah.
But she always has been. That's just part
But
of
she's doing this now
Meredith.
for, I mean, I guess maybe this one isn't selfish necessarily. It's, I mean, she's just I don't know. It's a tough
Doing
one.
it for Zola. I get it, but
I see both. I mean, I would do the same thing, but I would have a conversation. Of course,
Yeah,
granted, I'm married, so I'd kind of have to because he's got to come with me.
The way she's doing it is what's
Yeah.
selfish.
And that patient that they had this week that we had to like, I mean, Meredith and Nick are like, we're having to work together, even though they got tons of tension happening for this lady, this author. Which did y'all recognize her? It took me forever to recognize who she was, the actress from Home Improvement. It was Jill.
what's it?
It is, but she's got all
Okay.
white hair. It took me forever. I was like, oh my gosh, I love her, but she's just, got white hair now. And so it took me a
She
minute.
looked familiar to me, but not enough for me to even look it up. Like, I was like, I think I've
something.
seen her on some before,
Yeah.
but I didn't even look it up. I just zoomed past it.
The mom on Home Improvement. But no, like this patient, what was her name? Tessa. She's like like a children's author, right? Because Simone was a big fan of her. So she's needs surgery. And that surgery though, that was the only thing that bums me a little bit about the way Amelia had Lucas tell everyone, because he was clearly not on his game during that surgery. So even though he's assisting and he's getting to do stuff, he's not being as alert. He's not reacting the way that he should. Even Simone's sort of like helping him from the background, like, mouthing answers and stuff.
Yeah.
And Meredith noticed. But you know what? I love Nick's teaching style because he's kind of, part of me wishes he doesn't leave because he's kind of the perfect man for that job, I think. The way he's just so encouraging. He's unlike basically any other doctor we've ever seen really at Grey's Anatomy. They all tend to get a little grumpy and snappy, but I like the way he does it. He's really encouraging, and he's like, no, you got this, like, helpful. Even to the point that Meredith was just over it though. Like she was like, nope, Simone, step in. I felt so bad for Lucas in that moment.
I did too.
Happy for
I was
Simone
heartbroken
because she obviously knew what she was doing too, but I mean, it was tough, to watch him have to kind of be pushed out of the way there.
Yeah, but if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have got that really hot moment afterwards.
I know. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I liked it. I'm excited for them.
I liked that. It's not that I don't like them together, because I obviously see the sparks. I see the heat and the passion between them. But the reason why I don't want to get attached to them right now is because I think it's going to be such a slow burn, and I'm getting really sick and tired of slow burns on these shows.
Well,
And so I'm going to concentrate on Jules and Benson for a
Yeah.
little bit, because I think we're going to have more like on call room moments with them rather than
absolutely.
Lucas and Simone, who are going to take 18 seasons to get together.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
Oh,
I do
would
like
give up on them way before 18 seasons.
We can do another 18 seasons.
if they can't get this going in a few episodes, I'm gonna give up.
They
Like,
got
it's
till
not-
season's end, and then like I'm over it at that point. You know.
Yeah, by the
Yeah.
end of the season, if they're not together, then I'm moving on.
You know the crazy thing. I mean, just talking more about Simone. I mean, she like well done to her because I mean, like she got to do something really huge this week. I mean, unfortunately, like Meredith gets called away because, well, like we mentioned earlier, I mean, her house is on fire, and so she has to leave. And Simone kind of got to finish everything up, which I mean, that's a huge deal for the intern. I mean, obviously not by herself, you know, Nick's there, but like it was pretty cool. So
it was.
proud of her.
It was. But the Meredith's house, I don't know, that it was heartbreaking, but I think it also was it had a significance behind it. Like she's leaving. Like this is her home that she's always gone to, her safe place, her everything. It's gone. There's no reason for her to be in Seattle anymore now.
I know, but how sad. I really wanted somehow all the interns to end up living there. Like
I know. I thought it was going to happen
all
too,
end
by
up
the way.
living somewhere else. Like maybe we can still do that, but like in a different
Yeah.
location. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I don't know. I don't like her that our house burned down. It's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah.
But I like
it was an end of an era kind of like thing. I mean, like closure, I guess.
That's what it was like. It was a closure.
But I mean, it sucks for Amelia and Scout because they lived there too. Like, and they're not going.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, Amelia and Scout lived there. Yeah. Maggie and Winston have their own place, but Amelia and Scout lived there.
That's true.
Well, maybe Amelia can move into the loft with Lincoln and Joe.
No, Amelia's a big girl. She can get her own place.
Yeah, she might just have to live with Maggie for just a little bit.
She's a brain surgeon. I'm sure she can afford her own place.
Accurate. Head of neurosurgery. I'm pretty sure she's probably good. Right.
She's fine.
But you know, Maggie was another one. Just speaking of Maggie, that really kind of irritated me this season, or not this season, this episode. I mean, her and Teddy both, man. Like y'all are being mean to your husbands. Yeah. Like Winston she may not be wrong in that he will regret it. She may not be, but he is giving you valid reasons as to why he wants to make this change. Oh, we were just talking about needing somebody to run the pit. Isn't that what fellowship he's wanting to do? Like a trauma, because it was Owen that made him like want to do this. Isn't he wanting to do like trauma type stuff?
Yeah, so maybe he can
do it.
I think he'll be another resident.
Winston is
fellowship is what he was talking about, because he's already gone through his residency.
He said he wants to do vascular surgery.
Vascular surgery. That is, you're right. That is
so what exactly is vascular then?
I looked it up because I was so confused. It looks like it's surgery having to do with the veins or something like that.
Oh, we'll never see him. That's a weird one.
What are you talking about now? While all these cases come up with veins.
But I think it's still cardio adjacent enough that we'll still see him.
Well, and that may be why he doesn't have to do his residency over, because maybe he doesn't have to do that. He just now has to do a fellowship to focus in that one.
I think so. I think it's like a stem off of cardio.
Yeah,
like it's a specialization off of cardio.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to go into trauma, because it was Owen that like piqued his interest about wanting to do something different.
But then I think he would have to start his residency over.
Maybe.
If you went into trauma, because it's
like
different.
There's cardio too. I've always thought there's too many cardio. There's always too many cardio doctors on Grey's anyway. So like, let's get somebody doing something else.
Let's branch out.
Yeah, I'm totally for that.
But yeah,
We need more
Maggie.
generals too, though.
That's true.
No, but I think Levi's doing general.
But yeah, Maggie really annoyed me. Just the way she was navigating this conversation, and I'm using air quotes because she really wasn't willing to have it. And he's standing there saying, I love cardio, but I love you more.
That's
Yeah.
And she's
awesome.
and
Like-
yeah, it's great. And she's just saying, no, that's not enough. Or
Well, and that tells me that
Mm.
she's more worried about like her work at the hospital, like needing the help and not having him, than she is about her marriage, which bugs me.
so
Yeah,
I
think
don't
that's what. Yeah,
maybe there is no good way to save their marriage, because because if he stays, it's going to destroy their marriage. If he moves to a different specialty, then she's gonna be mad at him for doing that.
No, she'll
So-
get over it.
I mean, I think maybe this house fire is another way. Like with that, maybe it somehow put some stuff into perspective. That like, I mean, sometimes because this is probably our tragedy. Like, I think this is more tragic than anything else. Like sometimes that is what can like, I don't know. I mean, like I said, like put things in perspective and make you realize, okay, what's really important here, and it's
Yeah.
the fact that like you guys are both okay. So
I
don't
think
know.
that, and Maggie's just never been my favorite
Me neither.
of this show,
Mhm.
and I've really never disliked her.
Yeah,
But
I
she
don't.
is getting lower and lower. Like I almost forget about Maggie sometimes at this point.
I did. I made that when I made my little Thanksgiving like thing for our group. I
Yeah.
forgot both Maggie and Winston
Yeah, I know. I
and Teddy.
honestly,
If
I
I'm being
forget.
honest,
Yeah,
I
forget
forgot about
her.
them. I was gonna put interns, and I was like, well, I can't not put them. Like, I've got to like go back and take these people out. So yeah, I had to change it.
I would rather
Oops.
Maggie leave than Meredith, to be honest. But it's okay.
Oh, absolutely. Except for like Ellen wants the break, and so
Ellen yeah.
for Ellen's sake, I'm totally fine with this.
Me too.
Ellen deserves a break.
I have no like hatred for Ellen Pompeo for leaving. That's
Yeah.
I think it's a well-deserved thing at this point.
She's given 19 years of her career to this one show. I think she
Yeah.
deserves to
And
branch out and
she's still going to be producing. She's still producing Station 19, and she's still going to be narrating
Mhm.
the race. So she's just not going to be working as much.
I know it'll be sad for sure to see her go. I did love that. I mean, like we said, this burning down the house, kind of an end of an era. But the fact that Maggie was able to save the post-it note, I was happy about
know.
that, because that would have been sad for that to be gone. Because otherwise, it's all just stuff. The kids are all okay. Although I just have to point out one thing. I feel really sorry for little Ellis, because they're standing there, and I mean, the only child that Meredith hugs is Zola. And at least Bailey had like, Winston was kind of hugging on him, and little Ellis is just standing there.
Yep.
Like,
well, wasn't it a
it feel
group
weird. Like,
though?
do what?
Wasn't it a group hug of sorts though? So she was kind of hugging all
I mean,
of them.
maybe at the end, but when she first walks up, she like wrapped her arms around Zola. She didn't even touch her other two kids. I'm like, tell me you have a favorite without telling me you have a favorite child.
I think we all know she has a favorite child.
I know, but I mean, I'm thinking myself as a mom myself, I would go around and hug every one of my children like as soon as I got there.
I think we all forget about Ellis a lot of the times, to be
I know.
honest.
She's so sweet too. Like, I mean, I don't know, I mean, she's just so cute.
I know.
I don't know. It's just funny.
Poor
But
girl.
I was like, dang, poor Ellis is just standing there all alone. Everybody else has got somebody to hug on and take care of them. But
She just put a sticker over her face by this point. Come on.
dang.
No, I hope whenever, I don't know. I guess with not seeing Meredith, we're not really going to see the kids anymore, are we?
Nope.
This is kind of sad.
It is pretty sad, actually.
I don't
Just
know. I
all
just
of
thought about that.
I know. No, we're not going to see them anymore.
Maybe there'll be special things. Maybe
Which, I
she'll
mean-
like still guest star sometimes and like bring the kids with her, and
Yeah,
we
maybe.
can hope.
I bet if she guest stars, though, it's probably hard to grab all the kids to like snap. I mean, because these kids are going to move on with their careers, so it might be
So
good.
she'll just bring
Yeah.
Zola.
Yeah, just that's her favorite anyway. She
She'll
doesn't
just
worry
bring
about
her-
the other
Just Zola.
kids. What other kids? No, I don't have any other kids. So I hope
No,
those kids.
the
I hope
whole
somebody's
family.
gonna-
Like she's
I
just
hope
going to
someone-
up and take Zola to Boston and be like, "Don't shoot! I forgot the other two kids."
right? Well, at this point, I mean, like, I hope that like April and Jackson are ready to step it up for those two, because those two were always like having to spend time with like Amelia and Winston and Maggie. And so then they're just being taken away from them. So it's going to be kind of crazy, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of bummed. I mean, like, I'm also kind of bummed that we're not coming back until February. Like, we just came. I mean, this is what, like the 6th episode? Like, and now
I
we're
feel
going on break for
It
3
just
months.
came back and now we're on break.
So is this
Yeah.
going to be a short season with less episodes? It would have to be, right? You're not going to be able to fit all those in now.
I feel like they usually come back. Well, they usually go on break until March, but then again, they usually come back earlier, like in the fall. They didn't start until October this year.
It's supposed to be a
Yeah,
really
it
long
was
break.
it was something to do with Ellen's schedule.
Okay.
They wanted to have Ellen in next year's episodes as well.
Yeah.
And I think the only way that they could do that was to have this long break in the middle of it. I don't know why it was that important for her to have to be in next year's. That part I didn't really understand, but
Yeah.
that's apparently from what a couple of videos that I was watching said.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess that's all we got to talk about.
That is.
Yeah.
We covered it all, I think.
I think we did. Make sure to come check out our Facebook group. It's Grey's Anatomy Grey Family Fan Club. Lots of, we can have more discussions there and kind of talk about things, since we're having to wait till February to get these episodes back. Make sure to subscribe and check out our other social platforms. And then we won't have these until February, but Sunday night is our Fox night. So make sure to tune back in for that, for The Resident and 911. And then Tuesday night, we have our One Chicago night. So check those out. And that is all for tonight. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Loving our content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to share our podcast with your family and friends. We want to continue the conversation with you. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under Fandom Family Chats, or one of our ever-growing Facebook groups by searching Family Fan Club. We've also launched a website, Family Fan Club 2021 at wixsite.com. You can email us there and keep checking it for announcements and merch coming soon. And of course, be sure to tune in every week for new episodes discussing all your favorite shows.